Hey gang, welcome back. Kris Krohn here on Limitless TV. Today we are talking about the questions that I keep getting from so many of you like, dude, why would someone sell you a house for $110,000 that you claim is worth 150 grand? Why is there that huge disparagement? I'm gonna answer that today. All right, so today's question comes from John. He says, this is a new question. I've seen the point of buying a house that you'll instantly have equity in several times in your videos. If a house is worth 150 grand, why would someone sell it for $110,000? John, this is such a good question. And by the way, the fact that you have this question is part of the reason why this market exists. We're talking about information that is not commonplace. I'm telling you that right now in your market, in your backyard, I'm talking to you. Right now in your market, in your backyard, there is someone that is going to sell a house for a lot less than it's actually worth. And then John has this great question, why? Why would anybody do that? Well, let me give you a couple of reasons, but first let me tell you the story of my first house. Because John is referencing how I bought my first house for $110,000 that was worth $150,000. First of all, that couple that lived in that house, they were on unemployment, it looked like, from what I could gather, for a number of years. Right now, the husband used to work at the steel mill. The steel mill actually at Geneva Steel got shut down. He lost his job, and I don't really know more of the history than that. I knock on the door. What I know is that they want $110,000 for it. I want to buy it for $110,000, and the deal goes down. I will tell you that I knocked on the door, and I actually asked the lady if she'd sell it for $110,000. It was my first house. I had no flipping idea how to actually negotiate or do any of that stuff, and when I offered $100,000 for it, she immediately bit back. No, it's $110,000. And I'm like, okay. Well, later that day, I left and talked to my mentor and had him run numbers. And that's where he said, dude, this thing is worth 150 grand. And so I went back to the lady, I got it under contract, and I went forward to buy it. Do I know why this lady sold it for $110,000? I don't. But I can give you a couple of guesses. Number one, she may not have actually known that it was worth $150,000. Number two, maybe she needed to flee the state, leave the state, move on. Maybe she owed $50,000, and to her, selling it quickly for $110,000 was $60,000 of profit, and that was sufficient for her. Or the house needed some repairs, it needed some fix-up. So she might have looked at the fact that they had smoked in the house and that it stunk and that the carpet needed replacing and it needed painting. And maybe in her mind, it's like, oh, we need to sell this at a discount because it's a crappy home and I'm not going to put $1 into it. So we'll sell it under value. Bottom line is this lady is not a sophisticated investor. So maybe in her mind, she was a pessimist and a skeptic. Listen up right now. A pessimist and a skeptic and says, this thing's probably only worth $120,000 anyway. Someone's going to have to put in $10,000 worth of work. I'll sell for $110,000. That's the deal, guys. Real estate is all about perception, and it's about a collective perception. But individually on a bell curve, you're going to have most people thinking accurately, and then you're going to have people on the outliers that think differently. Those people exist. Now, what are some of the other reasons why someone might sell an undervalued home? Here's a common one. Everyday people die. So someone dies and they leave their house to their kids. And there's 4 kids and they're fighting over the house. All they want to do is sell the house and split the proceeds. Well, who's going to put in the money to fix it up? Not one of them wants to do it. They're in this deal because someone died. They're not investors. So all of a sudden it's like, well, dude, how do we get a quick sale out of this thing? Listen, it's worth $200. Let's sell it for $150 and get this thing done with. Mom and dad own nothing on it. We'll each get $40,000 or 35 grand as our cut. Good to go, right? That happens all day long. Maybe someone's getting a divorce. Maybe the market is slow and they figure they need to list it lower to move it faster, but they underestimate it. The bottom line is that there's 10% of your homes that are in your market where people are not getting advice from a realtor. They're not educating themselves on what something is worth. They're going to rely on what they think it's worth. And some people, by the way, on the opposite end of the spectrum, like my neighbor right next door, dude, that house is worth 800 grand. He had it listed for $1.3 million, right? Not going to go down. But dude, it's a free country. He can sell it for whatever he wants. So when I tell you, when you watch this video, oh, Kris bought this house for $110,000 worth $150, dude, I get comments, read them. Dude, that's such a scam. He's a liar. Dude, there's only one of those deals that will ever exist. That skepticism I see in those comments is exactly why this exists. You don't have to believe it. There's enough of you that don't, that it creates an opportunity for the rest of us. My advice, get smart, get educated. Believe me, this stuff exists. You just got to know how to find it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that was useful for you. In fact, will you do me a favor? If you know of anybody or you yourself ever got your hands on a real estate deal that you got undervalued, or even a car undervalued, freak, anything you've ever gotten undervalued, will you post that in the comments below so we can light it up and see how big of a list we can make showing that people get undervalued crap all day long? And if it ends up with crap, it's going to happen in real estate too. And listen, if you really want the inside scoop on how to find the very best deals out there that don't even require your money or credit, I can show you exactly how to do that. All you got to do is hike on over to my website, go ahead and click the link or in the description below, and check out a webinar where I've got all the information listed on how I can help you do the exact same thing.